What's going on, y'all? It's JD Pickell. Today on the Hard Count, Texas is in talks with hiring David Cutcliffe. What this means for the Arch Manning sweepstakes. Welcome into CFB with JD, the People's Channel. Everything you know, everything you love about college football happens right here on this channel. Happens nearly every single day. Armstrong, Sims, Jack McKenzie, they really do the lifting behind the show, and y'all drive the show, okay? So one way to help drive the show, at my Twitter page, at JD Pickell, we do polls, we do snippets, we do open-ended questions. We want you to be as involved in this show as possible, and that's a great medium to get involved. So go ahead and follow me there, and again, subscribe to the channel. David Cutcliffe was formerly the head coach at Duke. He since has left Duke, and he is now in talks with the Texas Longhorns of becoming some sort of assistant coach. Okay, so you read that name and you say, okay, I kind of remember who that guy is. I kind of remember he was the head coach at Duke for a while. Yeah, that's right. But you take a closer look, and this is a chess move by Texas to eventually land the top quarterback prospect in the 2023 class, that is Arch Manning. Allow me to explain. So David Cutcliffe is actually who both Eli Manning and Peyton Manning committed to at their respective schools. Obviously, Peyton Manning going to Tennessee, Eli Manning going to Ole Miss. They both were coached by David Cutcliffe. So there's a lot of rapport, there's a lot of trust. There is a lot of, great feelings and good feelings about David Cutcliffe being the head coach, or not being the head coach, but being the coach that oversees Arch Manning's development at Texas. Now, how involved will David Cutcliffe be at Texas if he decides to take the role there remains to be seen. But why this is so significant to me is it shows a couple of things. One, it shows buy-in from Texas. Okay, anytime you're going to pay somebody a salary, a full year's salary to, let's call it what it really is a move to sign Arch Manning, right? Like, that's what this is all about. And I think, to put a metaphor to it, David Cutcliffe is the responsible friend that your parents trust for you to go to that other friend's house, right? So Texas, a lot of culture issues, a lot of checkered past for them, a lot of, I don't know, are they back, are they not back? They've had different coaches. I don't know how I feel about them. But David Cutcliffe's there. But Mom, David's going. Coach Cutcliffe's going to be there. You trust him, right? You like him. Same thing. Hey, I don't know if I want you going over to Bevo's house. I don't know if, Bevo, we're not so sure about him. We don't know about his grades in school. We don't know how hey, Mom, Coach Cutcliffe's going to be there. You feel great about him. Look, he was great for he was great for Eli Manning. He was great for Peyton Manning. Look at their careers. It's hard to look at Eli Manning and Peyton Manning's and the careers that they had in the NFL and not feel good about David Cutcliffe. Also, put another quarterback in the first round not too long ago by the name of Daniel Jones. He's still in the league. Regardless of what you think about his professional career, he's still in the league. To take it a step further, it wasn't like the Mannings' relationship with Cutcliffe ended in college. Peyton would go back to Duke on a yearly basis. Every offseason, he's going back to Duke. He's going back to Durham, North Carolina to go throw and get taught by David Cutcliffe. So it cannot be overstated how much rapport and trust he has with the Manning family. I think it's just phenomenal that Texas is saying, no, we are so in on Arch Manning. We believe in Arch Manning so much, we're going to pay another adult a full year's salary to come and be at Texas, just to purely get Arch Manning. And I love that so much for that program because I think it shows a lot of self-awareness as well and saying, hey, we understand you got some concerns, right? We know you like Steve Sarkisian. We know you like Austin. We know you like the big stage. Otherwise, we wouldn't be in your top 5 or top 6, whatever it is right now. But to have the self-awareness to say, you have your questions. We're going to try and answer those questions, atone for whatever shortcomings we have by bringing on someone you trust. We trust them so much, they're going to come onto our staff. And so now, the real sweepstakes begin. Because I think for everybody else, and I think it's down to, I think he added Florida to that list. I think he added LSU to that list. And then we have the usual suspects, which are, if I'm remembering off the top of my head correctly, we got Georgia, we got Bama. I'm sure I'm missing somebody else here. But I know he took LSU off the list, which is the big thing. So we'll see what happens as his recruitment continues. Again, I think it's going to go the distance. I think he'll commit at the very latest. It could be, obviously the latest would be early signing day. I think we'll see a commitment from him right before his senior season starts. There's no facts that I have based on that, but I just think that's the case. But David Cutcliffe, like I said, does wonders for Arch Manning's recruitment. And I'll just tell a quick anecdote that I have about David Cutcliffe to just speak more to the kind of person he is. So here I am, finished my undergrad career, and we can tell the story another time, but essentially I was going to be a graduate transfer somewhere. Ended up going to Baylor, get a phone call, and it was David Cutcliffe from Duke. And it wasn't like he just called me out of the blue, but there was somebody that passed on my name to him, and he thought it was worth it to call me, which is very, very kind of him, and not at all speaking to who I am as a player, but I think speaks to who David Cutcliffe is as a coach and as a person. Because, again, remember, I'm a graduate transfer, so I got 1 year. I'm a walk-on, so I'm not on scholarship. David Cutcliffe's Duke program winning the ACC had nothing to do with me, right? Like, had absolutely nothing to do with me. Also, let's couple that with the fact that I probably couldn't get into Duke on my own, which is what would have had to happen for me to be able to go to Duke and to play at Duke. I wasn't getting any supported admission. So, David Cutcliffe to spend 5 to 10 minutes on the phone with me, a walk-on, tells me he cares about a lot of the things that are perceived to be lacked at Texas, right? Because the whole conversation around Texas's culture issues are, hey, they don't really care about the person as much. They don't develop you. They just get you on campus, right? That's what people want to talk about. You add someone like David Cutcliffe into the mix, I personally can attest, as I'm sure a lot of other recruits that know David Cutcliffe could attest, he is a guy of high character, of high moral standing, and of someone that cares about the right things. It could have just been because I was a walk-on, but during that conversation, we didn't talk about football one time. It was about, here's how I can set you up after football. Here's what we like about us as a program. Here's our values. We think you'd be a good fit. And obviously, it ended up being a thing with me coming to school. But I think that's the big thing you got to look at with what he's going to do for Texas as a whole. Yeah, he's great for Arch Manning. Yeah, he's going to add Arch Manning if they end up getting him on staff. And I think that's a really big if. But if they get him on staff, they got to be the favorite to land Arch Manning. But for other recruits in general and for that culture, I think he's going to go the extra mile in how he helps revamp their culture, like we mentioned, we've beat over the head now, and also just the ultimate front-facing piece of that operation. He's going to be a great recruiter and get a lot of guys in the boat and just allow more trust to be had for the University of Texas at Austin. So I'm fired up. And again, if they land David Cutcliffe, I think it's hard to say you don't land Arch Manning. That's it for us here at The Hard Count. Appreciate you tuning in. Subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Twitter. We love you so much. Thank you so much. I think it's almost 3,600 or so of you that have subscribed. We're fired up to keep this thing growing, to keep this thing going, and we will keep the party rolling. We will see y'all next time.